So what we're doing is we're doing the integral of x, and it tells you in the formula what to do. Basically, you change the x to be x squared, and then put a half in front of it, and that's what they have. And we're doing that from 1 to square root of 3, and so that means you're going to have a half square root of 3 squared minus a half 1. So you get 3 halves minus 1 halves, which is 2 halves, which is 1. And so that matches. Now, let's try to use some of the other tools sometimes. So I think you can go to Menu, Calculus, Numerical Integral, from 1 to square root of 3 of x dx. Whoops. X dx. And so that just tells me my answer is 1. The other option was through graphing, but this is good. So, or go to the calculate screen and then do integral 1 square root of 3 x dx and get 1. Okay, so let's do that again for this one. So we're doing menu 4 to menu 4 2 is the definite integral. And you're going from 0 to the cube root of 5. Of x squared dx. So you get this, and I think maybe if you try it there, it won't work. Oh, it did. Okay. I was thinking you might have to put more 6s, but you don't have to. So then that's your answer. Oops, 5/3. Okay. Now your next one, this time you can't use your calculator because it has the variable. So this is where you'd say it's a half 11a squared minus a half a squared. So that'd be a half 121 a squared minus a half a squared. So then just do 121 halves minus 1 half. Group those together with a squared, and that gives you 120 halves, which is really 60. So that's how you work that one. Basically, 11 squared is 121, and make it 121 halves, take away 1, and divide by 2. So that's how that works. On this one, they're showing you that you do C and then B minus A. Oh, the other thing that's weird about this one is they're saying your low end is 5 and your high end is 3, which doesn't make any sense. So what we really need to do is change it to negative and go from 3 to 5 of 5 dx. And so then that's going to be 5 So what you're doing is saying 5, and then you're doing b minus a, except we need our negative sign in front. So that's negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. The other way to think about this one was if you do negative 5 times 5 minus a negative, which changes to plus 5 times 3. So negative 25 plus 15 is also negative 10. So that was an option on that one. And then I think the last option was on the calculator. If we do calculus, numerical integral, and let's just say 5 to 3 of 5 dx, then it gives you negative 10. So this was or the integral 5 to 3 of 5 dx equal negative 10. So I bet y'all are going to prefer the calculator, but I'm just going to show you the other way. Because what if you don't have an Inspire calculator whenever you take college math? So you might want to invest in an Inspire. You'll have to remember all these rules. And sometimes they don't allow it. So on this one, this would be 6 in front, make it x squared, because you bump up a power. And then if that's there, then that's really a half. And so that's really 3x squared. And we're doing from 8. So 3 times 8 squared minus 3 times 0, which is really 3 times 64 is 192. And so that's how you get that answer. Again, you could have done the integral (0 to 8) of 6x dx, and it tells you. Or the integral 0 to 8 of 6x dx equal 192. So it does the math for you. Now on this one, first step would be reverse it and change it to negative. And split it. And I'm going to make z over 6 to be 1/6z. And so this would be negative 6x evaluated from 3 to 4. And this one, because of the z, it goes to z squared. And we've got an extra half in front. So that's negative 6x minus 1/12 z squared. I guess this should be a z, not an x. Okay, so we're evaluating that, and so there's the negative 6, and then 4 minus 3, and then minus 1/12, 4 minus 3 squared. So that's going to be negative 6 times 1 minus 1/12. And so negative 6 minus 1/12 is negative 73. Oh, I guess I did something wrong. I got negative 73 over 12. Let me just type it and see what I get. Numerical interval 4 to 3 of 6 plus x over 6 dx. Okay, so that gives me negative 6.583. Repeat. And so then make that a fraction, menu number fraction, and I get negative 79/12. And that's what we want. I'm going to pause it, see if I can figure out my mistake. It's probably because I didn't line it up right. Okay, I have an idea. So my idea is, what if we had negative 6, 4 minus 3, and then this is minus 1/12, but what if this should have been 4 squared minus 3 squared, like that? Then that's negative 6 times 1, and then you have 16 minus 9. So negative 6 minus 7/12. Negative 6 minus 7/12. Whoops. Negative 6 minus 7/12 is the right answer. So basically, my mistake was like right here. You can't do 4 minus 3 and then square it. You have to do 4 squared minus 3 squared. Okay. Now for this one, our curve is y equal 12x, which is actually just a slanted line going through the origin. And whatever b is your boundary you want from 0 to b. And it wants the area. And it's a variable, so you can't just use your calculator on that one. Since b is both the width and the height, we might need to do it this way. Actually, you have b here, and then whatever this is would be 12 times b, or 12b. That's your height. And so think of area is a half base times height. So a half of b, base is really b in this case, and your height is 12b. And so a half of 12 is 6, and then b squared. So you just use your good old-fashioned area formula. Your base is the letter b. So this is the base, the height, and this is your boundary, b. Okay. Then for this one, you've got a, oh, I got blurry for a second. Okay, so on this one, you're going from 0 to 2. So you would think the integral 0 to 2 of negative 6x squared minus 1 dx. And so let's get that. Oops. Menu for 0 to 2 negative 6x squared minus 1 dx. And that gives you negative 18. 0 to 2, negative 6x squared minus 1. Okay, so we need to investigate this because the calculator says negative 18, but Math Excel says negative 9. So to start investigating it, let's go to our graph. Negative 6x squared minus 1. And we want to analyze and then do the integral, which is number 6. And our lower bound is 0, and our upper bound is 2. So again, I get negative 18. So that was both from the calculate screen and the graph to get negative 18. Now, based on the picture, you see it's slanting down, and so you want the one that's slanting down that has the correct y-intercept. Which is negative 1. This one looks like it'd be 1. Okay, so we're at the point where we have the correct y-intercept, and the calculator told us negative 18. Well, I went back in my notes, and you see this is 5/3/57. Well, on 57, when I went from 0 to 1, I would have just got the same answer as what I wanted. But on one where I went from 0 to 4, then if I did the calculator, I got negative 88, but it wants the average value. So based on going from 0 to 4, I needed to divide by 4 and get negative 22. So let me do that example just to verify it. So I'm doing the integral from 0 to 4 of negative 3x squared minus 6 dx. Okay, so sure enough, that does give me negative 88. Which is what I put over here. But we want the average value, and since it's like 4, 4 minus 0, then I had to divide by 4. So divide by 4 gives you negative 22. And so the main part is the next step. The boundary is 0 to 2, so 2 minus 0 is 2, and then do negative 18 over 2 to get the average. Value. So what that means is for each rectangle, it would be negative 9. So you could think rectangle 1 is negative 9 and rectangle 2 is negative 9, which makes the whole area negative 18. Okay, that's the end of that lesson. Hope that helps.